let's talk about Palm Sunday. This is totally accidental. I don't even, did you put this up here? I don't even know why this is here, but I'm glad it is because it's a nice visual. And I got to turn back a page. So oh, and I will never again be wearing clerics to this. If that's a deal breaker for anybody, don't come back because I'm never wearing clerics again. I got too much to do. It's all I can do to get here on Tuesdays. I have to go and sell residential, commercial, interior and exterior painting services and associated stuff. So I won't be coming to clerics anymore. If y'all need clerics, go to or PH. So, all right. So let's talk about Palm Sunday, or let's not kind of. Let's talk about the gospel before the procession. Everybody went to mass because nobody would want to be in mortal sin forever missed without good reason. And the gospel last week ended with a statement that just kept kind of ringing in my head. If you'll recall the scene, and there's a bunch in there. There's a whole bunch in there, and I'll get to some of it later. But just think about the scene. We start with Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem, and it was probably a little bit more than a week before the Passion, because if you look at the Gospels from chapter 19 until chapter 21, 22, there's a bunch of stuff that happens in there, and it may have taken more than a week. That's not really that important. We observe his entrance into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday. Everything about that was like, this guy's a big deal. It's this big crowd it's his disciples that are lining the road. It's not just strangers, people that didn't know anything about him. These are disciples, the gospel says, of Jesus, who are standing there waving palm branches and shouting Hosanna to the King and blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Where have y'all heard that before? In the song that was in the Mass. That's right, good. So, I mean, everybody's just yelling and throwing their cloaks out and throwing down palms and just everybody's happy. In the crowd, it was really easy for everybody to just be up there jumping up down. Yeah, this is so good. Because there's a couple, 3, 4, 500,000 folks running around. Yay, Jesus. What did Jesus do at the beginning of that? As he's leaving Bethany and heading toward the Mount of Olives, and he sends 2 disciples ahead of him. And he says, okay, so here's what's going to happen. He actually does this twice in this gospel. It's pretty cool. He says, go into the town, and here's what you're going to see. And there's going to be a colt tied up, just grab it. And if somebody asks you what you're doing, tell them the master has need of it. He just sends a couple of disciples out. They don't know where they are. They don't know the people they find everything as he said, the gospel says. They grab the coat and they start walking off. And the dude who owns it probably leans out the window and goes, hey, that's my jackass. The master has need of it. Oh, why didn't you say so? They stepped out on faith. They believed what Jesus said, and they did what he said. Kind of cool. Now, they also probably recognized, because remember, Jewish men, especially back at that time, were steeped in the scriptures. And in the book of Zechariah, chapter 9, 9th verse, says, behold, your king is coming to you, a just Savior is he, humble and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. So they show up and they find this colt, this young donkey, tied up. And this has to be bumping around in their mind. And then he comes riding in, and just like it said in the book of Zechariah, here comes this guy riding into town, this king they proclaimed, riding into town on a donkey. Now, a week later in church time, actually only 5 days later in church time, but a couple weeks later, tops, where are they all? Well, they're gone. They're all gone. I mean, we're in Holy Week, and on Palm Sunday we walked from Jesus, Hosanna, we love you, man, to where y'all at? It's like what? There's John, there's Mary Magdalene. According to this gospel, there's a crowd of women that are standing off over there someplace. And other than John standing down here, where are the rest of those guys? They're just gone. Because when the poop hit the fan, when it actually had a cost to it, even Peter, the main man, it's like, oh, I don't know. Never seen him before in my life. Don't know. Yeah, I'm from Galilee, but I grew up in another neighborhood. I don't know who this guy is. 3 times he denies him, just as Jesus predicted that he would. So So it's easy to be bold at the beginning of Holy Week, the beginning of this time that Jesus spends in Jerusalem. Oh, but it's so tough at the end of the week to be bold. So now look at us in the culture. When we're in church, when we're with us, when we're with the crowd, it's easy to be bold and say the name of Jesus and talk about being missionary disciples and talk about praying together and talk about the Bible and want to bring more people to a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. It's easy when it's us. That's like being in the crowd on the road into Jerusalem. Then we pick up and we go back to wherever it is that we came from, whether it be back to our jobs or back to our neighborhood or back to the golf course, wherever it is that we're going from here. We're not in the club anymore. And even if we're around Christians, in Memphis, the probability is, unless you happen to work someplace like Brian does, the probability is that the people in power in the place where you are do not share our Catholic faith. So for you to even have palms up on your cubicle might be an issue. The question is, what is Christ calling us to do? What is he calling us to say? What is he calling us to witness? More importantly than that, where are we? Because we know where he's going. So where are we? Are we at the foot of the cross? Are we standing at a little bit of distance apart, watching what's going on? Are we just gone? So that's the reflection for this week. It being 145, the questions were going to be, when have I been challenged about living my faith in the mode of the two disciples who were sent to find the colt? When have I been challenged about just doing what I feel God calling me to do? How have I responded to those challenges? And then the other question is vis-a-vis where we are standing in relationship to the cross. What change is Christ calling me to in terms of my position? Now, y'all do not get to talk about that on our time because our time is up. But you can stay for as long as you want to talk after we're done. Go ahead and click it off.